Israelite Prepper here, and I just wanted to come to you guys right now because I just had a thought. Something was going on. I'm looking online, I'm in chat groups, having discussions here at home, and the subject that comes up and also has come to mind is that of like rebellion. And what I mean by that specifically is that, we look at both sides of the issue, like, submissive Israelite women, and we look at some who are not quite submissive and they pretend that they're Israelite women and that they're submissive, but they're really not. Let me speak to that just for a second. See, what happens is we have a lot of sisters out there who are coming into the faith and they're deciding that they want to get into their role. They want to get into their role. They want to submit to the Most High Yah, and they want to get into their role, and they want to say, okay, what does the Most High require of me? Now, I know after I get into the video a little bit, I'm going to have plenty of sisters out there that disagree with me. That's fine. But you have some who say, you know what? I want to be submissive to my husband. I want to be obedient to my husband. I want to follow the protocol that's outlined, in the Bible. And that's what I want to do. And I've seen a ton of videos that support what I'm saying. And then you have on the other side, you have some sisters who, they said that they're Israelite, they're supposed to be in the faith and the truth and things like that. But then they have this spirit, this rebellious spirit, to where they feel like the other women who are submissive and they seem meek and docile and they think that, they are just manipulated and they don't have their own thoughts, they don't have their own mind, they can't make a decision for themselves and things like that. And so they go and discourage them women. But I would submit to you that perhaps you should look at some of these interviews of some of these sisters, because I can't really tell you the exact number of how many where a pastor or someone is probably interviewing a sister in their community, or someone is doing a call-in show or a podcast or something where they're kind of interviewing a sister and ask them how they get into the faith and what's their educational background and things like that. Now, I already hear some people saying, well, I'm not talking about education, whatever. But still, according to the world's standards, a lot of these sisters are educated. They are smart. They have their own thoughts. They have their own mind. I saw videos where there's sisters who were officers in the military. I've seen videos where sisters have bachelor's, master's, and PhDs, and they choose to submit to their husband. And I'm not just making it up. I'm saying bachelor's, master's, and PhDs. Okay? So it's not a matter of that they're not smart, they can't think up for themselves, they can't make their own decision. They did make a decision. They decided to submit. They decided to get in line. And I think what's happening, the danger happens when you have some of the rebellious women who don't want to. They still have that Roman mindset. They're in the truth. They're in the truth. But they still have that Roman mindset that, we need to, I have my own thoughts, my own mind, my own ideas. Well, who's the head? So does the husband follow your thoughts, your mind, your ideas, or does he still have to make a decision and do whatever it is that the Most High put on him to do? Or is he supposed to just do what you say because you have your own thoughts, your own mind, your own ideas? You see, what happened is the rebellious woman is trying to get the submissive woman out of order. And what happens is that they miss the whole point of the covering. They miss their hedge. Let me explain. Let me open up these scriptures right here. Okay. For instance, if I just go to Ephesians, okay, if I just go to Ephesians, you guys bear with me. Ephesians 5:22, of course, it says, Wives, submit to your own husband as to the Lord. That's very key. Submit to your own husband as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, his body, and himself its Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit in everything to their husband. Okay, that's Ephesians 5:22. You guys know that one. Okay? So you're supposed to submit to your husband. Now everyone's like, oh, that's just patriarchal and domineering and what. No, I'm just following a model. I'm just reading. I'm not putting qualifiers on it. I'm just reading what it says. And that ought to tell you if you have a problem with someone just reading exactly what it says and you getting all upset and you're getting your feelings, the problem is with you, not with what's written. But I'm going somewhere with that. Okay, if I look at 1 Peter, let me just look at 1 Peter 3, 1 and 2. You guys know all the scriptures that are there. I'm making a point here. 1 Peter 3 and 1, it says, likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives when they see your respectful and pure conduct. Okay, that's the ESV. I'm just quick reference there. Corinthians. But I want you to understand that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of a wife is her husband, and the head of Christ is God. So we have a protocol set up right here. We have a protocol. Okay, Colossians 3 and 18. Wives, submit to your husband as is fitting in the Lord. So now, there's a pattern there. Okay, there's a protocol set up right there. Here's the thing. You say, okay, my husband wants to do X, Y, Z. Okay, fine. He has to make a decision. Sometimes some husbands get the input of their wives. Nothing wrong with that. You get the input of your wives. But ultimately, the decision has to go to the husband. He has to make a decision. Okay, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. Now, let me tell you this. If your husband is not sending you to hell, if your husband is not causing you to be hell bound, then you're covered by whatever he says. Well, what do you mean by that, Israelite prepper? Here's what I mean. Okay? Here's the caveat is, as long as he's not sending you to the lake of fire, here's the caveat. If your husband has a plan, a directive, a vision, something that he wants to do, and you may have a different feeling about it, in other words, you think he's maybe making a mistake or making a wrong decision or whatever, you can stand before your father with integrity that says, well, Lord, you know everything. You know I felt different, I thought different, but at the end of the day, I submitted to my husband because he has the final word. He's my head. He's my covering. So you're covered. You're covered. Now, let me put the caveat out there, because some people out there will not listen carefully and think that no matter what the husband says, you need to listen. No, if the husband is sending you to hell, meaning break Torah, hey, honey, let's go out and go rob a bank. Hey, let's go jump through someone's window and take all their stuff. Hey, let's go, murder babies or whatever, something that is clearly against Torah. Okay. I'm not talking about that. Okay, I'm not saying listen to your husband if he's telling you to do something that is against the Most High. I'm not saying that. Okay, sorry I had to do that, but you know some people don't listen. But whatever your husband says, you submit and obey to, you're in that covering. Now remember when we looked at that protocol with the scriptures that I read a minute ago. The Father, Christ over us, Christ over the man, then the man over the wife. Okay, so now you're following that protocol and everyone is covered. When you say, no, I got a better idea, I want to do this, I'm going to go my own way, I got my own ideas. Now you, wife, move yourself from under that covering. And now you have to answer for it. If you do something wrong, if you do something against the Most High, then you have to answer for it. Because you violated protocol and you came from under that covering. You wanted to do what you wanted to do. You wanted to rebel. Now you wanted to be the leader. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to encourage the sisters who decide, hey, you know what? I want to be meek. I want to be, I want to support my husband what he says goes. Hey, look, if he says we need to move to the east, we're moving to the east. If he says move to the west, we're moving to the west. Okay, fine. He wants, this is how he want his children raised. Okay, fine. We're gonna do that. I'm not gonna be bucking the system every 10 seconds or whatever. And then you got the ones who are really, really intelligent and smart and know everything, who balk at it. Do not let someone talk you or remove you from under your covering. Don't allow someone to do that. And that is what is going on. There's what a divide is. And then let them talk you into saying that you are oppressed, or you can't think, or you're not smart, or whatever the case may be. Don't let the sisters come against the other sisters, the righteous. Don't let the Jezebelic sisters come against the Proverb 31 type sisters. Don't be fooled. Don't get removed from your covering. You follow that protocol. The father, the Mashiach, the husband, the wife, the kids. When you remove yourself from under that, now you have to answer for it. When you remove yourself from that protocol, now you have to answer for it. That's part of what your covering is. That's part of it. That's, hey, you know what? Father, I was listening to my husband. And look at how it works. It's like you submit to your husband just like you would submit to the Mashiach. I ask you a question. If the Mashiach was standing before you, sister, and he wanted you to do something, and let's say you don't want to do it, you don't feel like it, what are you going to do? You're going to buck up against him? What are you going to do? You're going to argue? You're going to fight? You're going to debate? No, what I think. See, this is the attitude that you have to think about. You're gonna buck against it. The Messiah stands before you today. Some people think that, Torah only. Some people think, King David's the Messiah. Well, okay, King David come back and he asks you to do something. You're gonna buck against it and give him lip and say, well, I think then we should. Okay, back and forth. What are you going to do? What if you don't feel like it? What if you think you have a better idea? You're going to go against it? You're going to go against the Messiah? Think about that. Nobody is saying the husband is all right and he has all the answers or anything like that, but he is your head. He's not always right, but he's always your head. He's not always right, but he's always your covering. As long as you stay under that covering. That's what I think. What are your thoughts? Israelite Prepper. Till next time. Shalom. Peace.